Hello, my name is Linda Kerrigan Everett, the statewide wellness coordinator. I work for the Office of Employer Relations in the Work Life Service Unit. It's a pleasure to be with you today for the Wellness Everyday Wellness webinar, Unlocking Success with Tracking Behaviors. Movement, eating, sleeping, and drinking are four of the most important pillars when it comes to taking care of the human body. And we are going to share the benefits you will get by tracking these important behaviors today. Thank you for watching today's webinar. So the Wellness Everyday program is a wellness initiative dedicated to educating, engaging, and empowering New York State employees and their families by encouraging participation in healthy behaviors. The website is available at oer.ny.gov/WellNYS-everyday. So where you see the yellow arrow is a PDF of the 52 Wellness Weekly Challenges for 2025. The white arrow is a PDF of the Q1 tracking form, and we're going to go over both of these today. Also available on the website is a place to sign up for the Wellness Daily To-Do, the Wellness Webinars, and an I Did It portal, where employees are encouraged to share their success stories with the weekly challenges. The website also contains more worksite wellness information, such as New York State walking maps and ways to be well in the workplace. Wellness Every Day invites you to try something different in 2025. So each month, the program features a different wellness theme. So the 2025 themes include reset, track, nutrition, finances, physical activity, sunlight, outdoors, fruit and vegetables, mental health, apples, stay positive, and give. Every week, the Wellness Every Day features a Wellness Weekly Challenge. And if you take the challenge, then engage in it, and if you complete 5 days, then you will have achieved a goal. We encourage you to post your success on I Did It, but don't stop there. Complete all 7 days. All weekly challenges start on Monday and end 7 days later on Sunday. So as we mentioned, the theme in February is to track. So here are the Wellness Weekly Challenges. For February 3rd through the 9th, track your steps or minutes of physical activity. February 10th through the 16th, track everything you eat and drink. February 17th through the 23rd, track how much sleep you get each night. And then February 24th through March 2nd, track your hydration. Now, if you're watching this in March or any month that's not February, you can still do this. You can still track these. It's encouraged if you want to get in the habit of tracking. It's a very good habit to get into. We're going to talk about that a little bit more today. So here is the Q1 tracking form, and that is on the website. If you download it, you can track it electronically, or you can print it out and place check marks if you like to use your paper and pencil. So why track behaviors? Essentially, these are the behaviors that you do every day of your life. So why tracking them? Tracking behaviors increases your awareness of your daily habits. And by monitoring your habits, you become conscious of your behaviors and can identify areas where you might need to adjust. So identifying patterns or trends can influence your choices and how to address them. This can be true when looking at what you eat or drink. So we may eat the same breakfast every day, or we may eat chicken every single night. And tracking these behaviors, you may start to see a pattern. That may lead you to change your diet and say, you know what, I may need a more variety in my diet. Seeing your progress visually can be motivating and encourage you to continue working towards your health goals. This rings true when tracking behaviors like physical activity or steps. Once you track every day, you start paying more attention and increasing your steps. Awareness can bring fun into tracking. So wherever you can be competitive with yourself or others, to see how many days you can track. So if you were with us in January, we discussed several outstanding people who have set unbelievable streaks. And this can be an extremely encouraging, especially when you want to reach a goal. So when you track your behaviors, this helps you set realistic goals in all areas. And one of the benefits is that you will hold yourself responsible and accountable for achieving them. When it comes to decision making, you want a streak to keep going, and a day may come where you may feel lazy or not wanting to track your steps, but keep tracking as a tool for making the decision to be active that day. So all this information comes from the National Institutes of Health. So I have two favorite quotes. Track one habit per week. Once you start tracking behaviors, your attention will be focused on the smallest things you're doing right, as well as the smallest things you're doing wrong. Tracking is a simple exercise. It works because it brings moment-to-moment awareness to the actions you take in your life you want to improve, and you can manage or improve something until you measure it. That is by Darren Hardin. He is the author of The Compound Effect. Then another quote in summary: habit tracking creates a visual cue that can remind you to act. It is inherently motivating because you see the progress you're making and don't want to lose it. And it feels satisfying whenever you record another successful instance of your habit. Furthermore, habit tracking provides visual proof that you are casting votes for the type of person you wish to become, which is a delightful form of immediate and intrinsic gratification. And that is from the author James Clear, who is the author of Atomic Habits. So there's so many different methods on how to track. Some very simple things is a paper, a small notebook in your pocket or your purse, a journal or a calendar. So my favorite is paper. I have a journal that I write in every day, and it just keeps me accountable. Another way is a computer program spreadsheet. And this is for those people who like to see it out on a spreadsheet, and there are some people that do. There are thousands of websites or online tools that you will find that you can track your behaviors, as well as apps on your phone or mobile device. So whatever method is best is whatever you use and feel comfortable with. And this is different for everybody. You may want to experiment with different methods and try it for a number of days to see if you turn to that as the way to track behaviors. You want to feel really comfortable with this because you're going to be doing it every day. And if you're tracking your food or your drinks, you're going to be tracking it several times a day. So get comfortable with the method you use. So let's discuss tracking devices when it comes to physical activity and other things. So it wasn't very long ago, the only way to track steps was with a pedometer. A pedometer works by detecting the vertical movement of your body while walking, usually with a sensor called an accelerometer, which registers the changes in acceleration that occur with each step, and this translates the data into the counts of steps taken. Essentially, it counts the number of times your body experiences a significant change of motion associated with a step. So in 2014, 11 very short years ago, the first tracking watch was sold, and the cost was $349 from a very popular computer company. These devices changed everything when it comes to steps, but also to so many other behaviors. Wrist tracking devices provides your time, tracks steps, calories, workouts, provides health alerts, monitors heart rate, oxygen rate, workouts. It can monitor your pace so you can view texts, pay for items at the checkout, and answer phone calls. This newest model can detect if you've fallen or send an emergency SOS. It can also detect crash detections with your vehicle, and there's so many more. So the latest cost for a wrist tracker, as we mentioned, was $349. That was the first cost, but now you can get them from anywhere, and they cost between $25 and $700. So if you don't like to wear a watch, there's also a ring. The ring came out in 2013 before the watch, and the ring tracks steps and physical activity behaviors. It advertises that it's best at monitoring sleep, and where you're looking at light sleep, deep sleep, REM, how long it takes to fall asleep, and how often you wake up. Your daily activities, calories, your heart rate, your blood oxygen levels, and also provides data. So your ring cost about $300. So the battery life, all these things need to be plugged in just like a cell phone. The battery life on some is 18 hours, 20 hours, up to 5, 7, or 10 days. And when doing my research, I found that the more expensive models that offer many more are the ones that have the least amount of battery life. So do your research if you're interested in getting a tracking device. I have one and I really like it. It just tells you so many things. But think about it and do your own research. So to be successful with tracking, you really need to be consistent. So if you have a tracking device, then it's just recording things on your watch or on your ring. But if to be successful, if you're writing everything down, you want for week 6, if you're tracking physical activity, you want to write this down immediately. Also your steps, use a tracker at a specific time of the day or at the end of the day. You may want to see how many steps you do by noon and track that, or how many steps you do before you go to bed. Week 7, track what you eat and drink immediately. Otherwise, it's easily forgotten. We totally forget that we had that snack or we ate those grapes. It's just important to keep that accountability immediately. After you sleep, write down when you went to bed and what time you woke up. For week 9, for water tracking, the ounces you consumed, or track how many times you filled and drank your bottle throughout the day. So if you filled your 60-ounce water bottle at 9 and you finished it at 12, maybe you can track that. If you have an individual serving, track immediately after. Also, keep the method with you. If it's a journal or a phone, you want to make sure that it's with you all the time. And start by tracking just one behavior. If you're consistent, then keep going. After tracking for 3 weeks, you'll move from shock to becoming much more conscious of your actions. So here's an example of a simple tracker. So writing down steps and minutes. You don't have to do both, but you can if you want to. Eating and drinking, here's the days of the week, Monday through Sunday. And your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, your snacks, and your drinks, just another example. And then there is your sleep, what time you went to bed, what time you woke up, and how many hours you slept. And then finally, the water, how many ounces you drank, and I just put it in ounces, but you can also put the number of glasses. So just a simple tracker for tracking steps, physical activity, eating and drinking, sleep, and also tracking your water. So I've used James Clear's habit tracker, and this is an example of it. I'll touch on tracking other habits and you can see the power of it. So if you get out of bed at 5:30 and you don't snooze, let's say that's a habit. And another habit would be meditating for 10 minutes upon waking up. The next habit would be taking medication. The next habit, drink a glass of water before breakfast, and then finally read 10 minutes before turning off the lights for bed. So these are just different habits than the ones we're looking at. But now putting a check, if you just look at this as a whole, putting a check takes 1 second. I did it, just check it off. The intention was to get all 21 days for all 5 habits. So you see where this person did well and not so well. So drinking water was 21 days successful, whereas reading only was 3 days successful. It's so easy to set it up, and it's so good for habits you want to track. Tracking provides a visual of what you're doing well and not so well, instead of just keeping it in your head. So if meditation is really important to you and you look back over the last 21 days, seeing how you tracked, you'll know, gosh, I need to get better at this. Maybe I need to set it up at a different time of the day. So this is just a really good example of a habit tracker. It's a habit tracker. It's very easy to set up. So there you go. So if you complete 5 or more days of the Wellness Weekly Challenge, share your experiences on the I Did It at oer.ny.gov/I-did-it. It's so fun to see how all of the New York State employees are doing. They say very simple things and they share other things. So if you want to see success stories or you want to share one, please go to the I Did It. If you need more encouragement, the WellNYS Everyday Program, you can subscribe to the WellNYS Daily To Do. This is just an example of the WellNYS Daily To Do in February. So on February 6th, challenge your coworkers to track steps or movement during the workday. Check in halfway through the day, then at the end of the day to see who had the most steps or minutes of movement. That can be fun to do with your coworkers. The second week, February 12th, when you track your food intake, you become more conscious of what you're eating and how you feel. You more than likely realize that you have a choice and you can gain control over your eating habits, and as a result, will make healthier choices. An example in sleeping during February 21, go to bed earlier tonight, especially if you've worked 5 or more days in a row. Often we try to be productive in the evening and then realize we are tired. And then finally, on February 27th, drink 1 glass of water after you have slept. This is the time your body is most dehydrated. Try drinking 1 glass of water before drinking any coffee or any other beverage. So how many weeks will you try the WellNYS Weekly Challenge in February or any other month? If you've completed, okay, so I want to fast forward. So let's say you did all these things. If you completed those weekly challenges, then in a month, you'll know the number of steps or how much physical activity you did. You'll have it on paper or have it as a visual in one of your methods of tracking. What and how much you ate or drank. If you're trying to track your weight, then you'll have a real good understanding of what you did. And registered dietitians love to see this. If you go to a registered dietitian, they're more than likely to ask you what you normally eat and drink, and you'll have record of that. The next one is how many hours you slept. So let's say you're exhausted, but you look back and go, well, I slept 7 hours and 8 hours or 2 hours. You get a real good understanding of why you may feel the way you do and also how much water you consume. So it gives you information of these 4 behaviors. So that can help you in so many ways. So why track behaviors? It increases your awareness by monitoring your habits. You become conscious of this, and it chooses to identify areas you need to adjust. You can identify patterns or trends which influence your choices and how to address them. Seeing your progress visually can be motivating, encourage you to continue working toward your health goals. Tracking behaviors helps you set realistic goals and hold yourself accountable. And also, it improves your decision making. We did go over this in the beginning, but I wanted to share this one slide at the end because you really have a good understanding of why you want to track behaviors. So here are some of the resources that we use, the National Institute of Health and also the WellNYS Everyday Program. So start today. Today is the day you want to start. You don't want to start anything tomorrow, and it's just easy to do. So whatever thing you decide to track, just find your best method and go for it. So easy. For more information, go to oer.ny.gov/wellness-everyday. If you have any questions, reach out to Linda.Carrigan, CARIGNAN-Everetts, EVERTS @oer.ny.gov. Thanks and have a great day.